I am just a man in recovery doing my very best to share a positive message of love and hope to anyone out there struggling. My name's Danny Shannon. I spent 17 years in the pain, hurt and misery of active addiction, heroin, meth, crack, anything you could get your hands on. I am absolutely blessed to have found recovery on the 15th of September 2009. This is the Kick the Shit podcast. Each week, my guests and I will share our stories around the social and emotional impacts that addiction can have on both ourselves and our loved ones. Let's go! Let's go!
Let's go.
Do you know what, Jarrod? I'm absolutely blessed to have you on the show too, brother. Welcome. How you doing, man?
Hey, Danny, I appreciate you having me on the show. I'm keen. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Before we kick it off, I'd just like to give a big shout out to Koahani for sponsoring the Kick the Shit podcast. Koahani supply NDIS support and coordination, helping people help themselves. Legends, Koahani. I appreciate you guys very much.
Cool.
And anyone in the comments too, we'll take any comments or questions at the end of the show. We've got Jarrod. It's your boy Jarrod on today to talk a little bit about his story, what it was like, how he got here and what it's like now. And so how you feeling, Jarrod? I know you've had a couple of podcasts recently and I've been watching your stuff and I know how you feeling, bro?
No, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. I can't wait. I love doing podcasts and stuff like that and sharing my story, yeah.
It's exciting, eh? Like, it's crazy to think, like, where we come from. And it's exciting to think that, we come from a life of drug abuse and the carnage, we do. And yet somehow when we stop using drugs, we can get this pat on the back and then we get lucky enough to start sharing our story and carrying it with other people out there,
Yeah, exactly right. No, I'm very blessed, It could have turned around a different way very easily. So I'm very blessed to where I am in life.
Yeah, cool. All right, legend. So let's kick it off. We're gonna I've gone through it a little bit with you. We don't wanna you feel pretty comfortable sharing everything that we're gonna go into today. Guys, Jarrod also mentioned if there's any trigger warnings, just be aware, I guess, guys. It'd be all good. But Jarrod, why don't you take us back first of all? Like, what was it like growing up for you? Do you have brothers and sisters? Where did you grow up? Just, mate, it's over to you, bro.
So I grew up in Wollongong, which is south of Sydney. When I first grew up, when I was very young, I grew up in Housing Commission. So we weren't well off when I was growing up. That when I was very young. But my parents remarried, so my parents split up, and then my mum remarried, and then my stepdad, he had money, so then we're kind of given like a lot of luxuries, I guess you could say, in life, and I don't know how my life ended up the way it did, but yeah, we were given a lot of luxuries, and I was actually very spoiled growing up after that. It went Housing Commission to spoiled, and then I went my own way in life.
Yeah, right. And other family members, who was it with you there?
Yeah, so I got one older brother and I got a stepbrother. So my stepbrother's younger, and then my older brother is obviously older.
So what age were you when you started getting spoiled and transitioned from the Housing Commission life to that?
So I was about 12?
Yeah.
12, yeah, about 12.
Yeah, cool.
So my whole life, Housing Commission and living in different houses and my parents arguing and splitting up and stuff. And then when they split up and my mum remarried, that's when I was kind of spoiled. And we went on family holidays, went on cruises. And so, yeah, I was very lucky, I was very lucky.
So where's your dad?
My dad lives in Queensland.
Yeah, and your mum, is she still in Wollongong?
She's still in Wollongong, yeah.
And you now, where are you these days?
I'm in Queensland. I'm on the Gold Coast at the moment, and I love it up here.
Yeah, living the dream at the moment.
I'm living the dream, bro. I'm living in paradise, and yeah, I love it.
Wow, how's the weather up there at the moment? Is it good?
That's beautiful. I'll take you outside, but blue skies, 20-something degrees, beautiful weather today.
All right, cool. That's amazing, brother. Yeah. All right, so what about okay, so look, you know what I love about this already? Like, you're sort of acknowledging some gratitude for some of your growing up. Even though you end up taking a pretty dark path, I hear already in your voice like optimism. And I think that's great.
Exactly.
I think that's a big and important formula in who we are today, is that ability to be the glass half full kind of guy.
Yeah.
Do you think you're that kind of guy?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that in your spirit, like just the way we've connected a little bit to now. You've got that enthusiasm for life, and I think that plays a big part.
I think that's what helps me get to the other side as well. Just keeping optimistic with life and always trying to improve yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, bro. So so rough. Well, yeah, done it tough as a young kid, and then got lucky at about the age of 20, started coming into a little bit of a better style of life. But that's never enough to stop you from picking up drugs, is it?
Yeah, exactly right. Well, there was a few things that happened in my life that made me I was just very depressed and suicidal, and I hated life. I'll be honest, I really hated life, and a few things that got me that way were, relationship breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I got cheated on in a relationship after 4 or 5 years in a relationship. I went through a court case as well. And all these things that just brought me down, where I knew in that court case I didn't do anything wrong. I knew that it wasn't as bad as they made it out to be. And I think that's what dragged me down as well and just made me so depressed. But there was also one life event that happened when I was, believe it or not, 18, when I was fresh 18, up in Brisbane. And that's something that I've never talked about to anyone on TikTok before. And that was a sexual assault that happened on me. And, sometimes it happens to people when they're younger, or I'm it's hard because I don't think I've matured until I've gotten very older. But yeah, I was 18 when it happened, and it was out in public, and I've never recovered from it. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, like talking about it, I'd get emotional when I would talk about it, because I just can't comprehend my brain. At that moment, my brain went blank, and it happened, and it happened so quickly that after it, I was just left with, why did I let that happen to myself? I had so many questions in my head, like, how did I get myself in that situation? Why did I go in that toilet at that time? Why did that person, you know what I mean? And it just, it fucks me up mentally really bad.
Thanks for being so brave to mention that, Jarrod. And I hope, I definitely hope that as we continue moving forward, you will continue to get some more help for that stuff too, because that stuff does, like, we hold that stuff in and it just festers. Our secrets keep us sick is one of the things that
exactly right.
And so good on you for being brave enough to mention that, brother. And so were you under the influence at the time, Jarrod?
No, I wasn't. I was sober. I was out drinking, but I wasn't drunk. You know what I mean? I wasn't drunk, but I looking back at it, when I went to the police and all that, they believe I got spiked. So there was something put in my drink to make me not black out completely, but not be able to know what was happening.
Cool. Yeah, well. All right, Jarrod. So is that where life is? We had a bit of a chat earlier, and I think you touched on that's kind of where shit started really spiraling out of
that's
control.
where shit did really start spiraling. I got very depressed. I shut off from everyone. I shut off from my family. I shut off from life. I got very dark. There was some very dark days. Yeah.
You all right, Jarrod?
Yeah.
You all right, talk? Yeah, cool. If you ever need to stop, let me know. Jarrod, were you able? Did anyone else? You mentioned you went to the police. Good on you.
Yeah.
Did you keep this to yourself otherwise, or was
Yeah, no, I didn't really talk. I didn't even tell my mum or anyone about it. Yeah. It was kind of like a shame, That's what I felt.
Yeah. So you weren't able. So no one else knew.
No, well, I have a cousin, that she's older. She's in her 30s, and every time I'd go out drinking or whenever, she was someone that I could go to and tell her my deepest, darkest secrets and know that she wouldn't tell anyone. And I called her up after it happened and I said, this is what's happened to me. And she was the one that told me to go to the police. I wasn't even going to report it to the police. I was just going to keep it to myself and not even, I was too ashamed to even tell anyone. But she was someone that I felt very comfortable with. And I called her up and let her know straight away, like, this is terrible.
How long after the incident was that, Jarrod, that you spoke
That was
to her?
straight up, like pretty much straight after the incident, yeah. Not straight
Jarrod,
after, but half an hour after.
yeah, well, Jarrod, just on that, while we're on that subject, thank you again for being so brave to share it. If someone else is in that situation now, looking back for you, is there
Yeah.
anything you would like to share with? Because I know, look, bro, this shit happens all the time, you know, and so
Yeah.
often it's kept secret. And as you mentioned, like it starts to fester and makes things hard. So I don't know, is there anything you'd mention to anyone else
I
out there?
would
Because
I would say
I know
reach
you already
out to
said a
someone.
message. Oh, so sorry, Jarrod. Go.
No, you're right. I would say reach out to someone. Reach out to someone that you trust and let them know what's going on and definitely report it. Don't let it eat you up inside. 100% report it and 100% tell someone. Yeah.
What I was going to say is, I know you're all about raising awareness, especially
Yeah.
for the young fellas out there too. And I know that, like, this is what happens. Like, and I love you, like you mentioned, like you didn't expect this stuff to be happening at the age of 18. And I
Yeah.
mean, never okay, no matter what age we are. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that happens. Yeah. All right, brother. Wow.
And sorry to cut you off again, but it's just the thing that people don't realize is something like that happens, but it's not just that, it's the court cases after, the pain after. Like, I was in court giving evidence for a week straight, 12 hours a day, crying in court every day. Like, it's very mentally draining, and yeah, it's terrible. I'm gonna get a drink because my voice. Give me a second, mate. One second.
Take your time. Yeah, guys, anyone out there, of course, please be brave. Speak up in these situations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Jarrod, isn't it suck, that part of it? Let's touch on that. Like, this is the bullshit. So you're the victim, right? The victim's the one who has to, but I guess there's no way around this. Like, this is how the law works, and this is how the system works. But you're the victim, and yet then you've got to be confronted with this day in, day out. And not that's one to go to court, just up to come into the court, you got to talk, you need to give statements.
Yeah.
And if we don't give statements in this case, like we're letting the most putrid perpetrators out there get away
Exactly
with it.
right.
Giving them permission to do it, well, giving them the ability to do it again, these acts.
Yeah.
So,
And I think as well, with me, I think I might get emotional when I say it, but the thing that fucks me up the most about this is the police told me that not the reason that I got targeted, but they think that the reason is because I look younger, and that person had been in trouble before for being a pedophile as such, and that's why I got targeted. And I think that's what hurts the most and what made me just keep pushing to get this person locked up, because it's the putridest of the putridest, and yeah, I just think, why me? But yeah, it's very hard for me. Like, I don't know if people watch me on live, but sometimes people say, oh, you look so young, and I sometimes retaliate and I get angry about it, and that's why, because yeah.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. It's a trigger for you because
Yeah.
that brings up the memories of this event when somebody says that. So, Jarrod, let me ask you this: Do you do you feel like you blame yourself for any of this at all? Like, is there any of that like going on? Like, how do you deal with this moving forward? Like now, when you're reflecting on it,
I don't blame myself as such, but I just think, why me? Why did that? Like, why me? I just think like as I said, like I was going through life and I was going on holidays with the family and everything, and then this happened and my whole life flipped upside down.
Yeah. Look, actually, just as I just said that, man, I don't know why I asked you that. Do you blame yourself? There's just something that you said earlier that made me think that. But yeah,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I guess it's just because you've identified as the people think you look young.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, let's let's move on for that. Eh?
Yeah.
That's the trigger warning. That's the carnage, and that's also often. Look, man, bro, I just say like I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people
Yeah.
in recovery like the last 12 years, brother, and almost like a massive amount, like 80. I don't know the numbers. Has got to
Yeah.
do, some type of assault at a younger age. Oh my god, my cat's carrying on. All right, Jarrod. So you mentioned that this is where life started to turn around and you started to get involved heavier. What's your
Yeah.
drug of choice? Like, what was the drug that brought you the most drama in your career?
So MDMA was the drug of choice. Because with MDMA as well, you don't know what you're intaking. Like you could take MDMA and the dealer could mix it with ice, and then you're taking ice. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why I was messed me up so much. But yeah, MDMA was the drug of my choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What MDMA is that like ecstasy, isn't it? Is that
Yeah,
like
ecstasy. Yeah.
yeah? That's still around out there a lot, is it at the moment?
Yeah, it's like they put it in like cap form. So like if you hear someone on a night out say like caps, that's MDMA, like ecstasy.
Yeah.
But it's not a pill. It's not a pill as such. It's like the rock. So it's like the pure form,
Yeah.
like
Right.
methamphetamines.
And how did that come about? When did you first get on that, man? And how did that start?
That all started like on a night out with the boys. To be honest, we went out drinking, and I just went through a relationship breakup, and my friends were like, "Oh, come out for a night out on the town," and I was like, "Oh yeah," because I was a bit, alone. I was a bit upset. Well, not a bit upset. I was very upset, and the doctor prescribed me Valium, and I was just numb. So I said, "Yeah, I'll go out on a night out. I'll go on a night out. I'll enjoy myself." And they said, "Hey, do you want to take some of this?" They said, "Let's just have a good night." And I was like, "Oh,
Sure.
okay, yeah, let's go then."
Yeah.
So yeah, we took the MDMA, and from that point forward, I think it's just weird how it happened, but I was just addicted to it from that point forward. Like from the very first time I took it, for the next 8 months, I was on it every single day and every single night. At the start, it was just a bender. Like we
Yeah.
went on like a 5-day bender.
Yeah.
But then the bender just kept on going and going and going and going and going.
Yeah. Like Jarrod, so like, and I guess so. May I ask? Do you think, like, in all your full using of the MDMA, was there any
Yeah.
other drugs involved?
There was ice involved as well, 100%.
Cool.
At that time, I never thought that I'd be on ice. Never in my whole life. But just from MDMA, it kind of moved up. This is the next best thing that's going to get you the most fucked up,
Yeah.
And I
What,
was
what
just
I,
chasing that feeling of nothingness.
yeah. What I was going to say is, would you identify as being an addict throughout all that?
100%. 100%. Yeah. I
What
think
about
as
alcohol?
well, I have a very addictive personality.
Yeah, yeah. What about alcohol, Joe? All right, so you were an addict on the you identify as being an addict, and the
Yeah.
reason I mentioned that was like the difference between you and maybe your average another young person that uses
Yeah.
MDMA. They might use it on a weekend,
Yeah.
they might use it once every fortnight, but you
Yeah.
just you went
Every
from
single day, like
0 to
24/7.
100. Yeah, you started. So I heard this said previously. So surely you're not out clubbing every night because that's what it's
No.
meant for, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's meant for, you go out clubbing and you have some MDMA and you just start dancing and enjoying your life. That's what it's meant for.
So what were
But for
you doing
me,
on MDMA every day then?
how was it? Random houses. Random houses. I was going from all these different houses and we're just sitting at home on the couch, just fried out of my brains, just feeling nothing. And it just was so degenerate to even think now that that's what I was doing. But I was just going from house to house, wherever. I was homeless at the time as well.
Yeah.
Due to going out clubbing and stuff, my parents kicked me out, and I was homeless, and I was just going from people's houses, and I didn't want to feel anything at all. I felt like that was the end. I felt like whatever happens to me happens to me. I didn't care about myself. I let myself go. I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. I completely identify with. Like I'll
Yeah.
I've been on the ice, like in jail even. Like it's the dumbest thing. Like it really reminds me of that, because it's not as if like the drugs made to get up and get out there, you know, and yet I'm using it in a cell.
Yeah.
Water prison. So it's kind of like, and what that reminds me of is we lose the ability to choose. You just want to get fucked up, basically.
Yeah.
So it's not as if you're using it to feel good, to do anything. You're using it to feel normal. Did it ever feel
Yeah.
like you felt normal when you took it?
I don't know if normal. I just felt
Yeah,
nothing. And I
yeah,
think nothing was the best feeling for me at that time.
mm,
I I have a lot of anxieties as well, like social anxiety after the assault that happened to me, being out in public, and that as well. I just was not anxious at all. Like I was just the best person I
um,
could be.
just
Well,
not.
I felt like that anyway at the time. You know, I wasn't anxious. I could walk around anywhere. I felt bulletproof. I felt like, yeah, I can walk around the streets at night time even if I was scared. And yeah, that's kind of my downfall. And I think that the craziest thing through all of this, which I hate admitting it to you, or I feel very ashamed to admit it, but I was driving around fucked up on MDMA. I could have killed an innocent person. You know what I mean?
Scary when we think of
Yeah.
some of the carnage that
At
could
that
have.
time, I just thought I can drive so much better now, but you don't realize you're fucked up.
Mm,
Like that's how low I
scary.
was in the world.
Jarrod, I don't know if you've ever heard this. One of the things that I think is quite useful when I think back on my addiction is like, you know, I wasn't responsible for my carnage of my addiction. I wasn't responsible when it really had me in the grips, but I am responsible for my recovery. You know, and I feel like
Exactly right.
and I just feel like, because look, really, I don't know what people out there listening, but I believe it's a disease. You know, addiction truly does
Yeah.
get you, just like any other disease out there. And when we're under the spell of that, it's kind of like we lose the ability to choose. But when you start to realize and come good, and you identify as being in recovery, you are responsible. You are responsible not
Yeah.
to go and pick up that next MDMA or ice, and you know the carnies that are bought for us. Yeah, it's just one of the little things. I guess because hearing you say that, I get it, bro. Like, but
Yeah.
what you can't keep beating yourself up. Look at all the amazing things you're doing today. But it
Exactly
is
right.
scary.
Exactly right.
Scary thought. I
Yeah.
could just hear the sirens going, and it just reminded me. Like imagine what we some of the carnage that could have happened as a result of
Yeah.
our use.
It could have. Yeah. It could have been a lot different. Like it definitely could have. You know.
What? All right. So what? Tell me some of the other like. Look, would you say? I also think my using 17 years of the pain, hurt, and misery. There was a lot of good times as well. You know, I
Yeah.
had a lot of good times, and there was a lot of shit times. Does it feel like that for you, or was it all shit?
Yeah.
Like,
Look, without sounding like an idiot,
yeah,
I definitely like. There was just something at the time, just hanging with all the boys. Like it's crazy to think, but we used to have competitions to see how much we could take in one night.
yeah,
Like, it would be like, I remember we were gloating with each other. We're like, yeah, we had 15 caps in one night. Like, yeah, we're sick. We're legends. And we're like, I think back now, I think, what the fuck were we thinking? But we are trying to go, yeah, let's go again. Let's go again. Let's go again. Let's keep on doing it. Let's go for a record tonight. And it's just
so,
those times, with the boys driving around as well, being idiots, you know, doing idiot things. But at the time when I was messed up, it was fun. Like
Yeah,
I
bro.
called one of the boys, say a year ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, and just reflected on what had happened in the past.
Yeah, yeah.
And we had like many like times where we were just like, what the hell? Like, do you remember this? Do you remember this? Like, yeah, it definitely was good times and bad times, but that doesn't tell everyone to go and get on it to do that. But yeah, no, I definitely had some good times and bad times. Yeah.
Nah, yeah, nah. Of course, we're not promoting it, but mate, this
Yeah.
was our life. Like we did it for a
Yeah.
reason as well. It certainly wasn't all shit. Jared, what was some of the
Yeah.
worst? Take me through like a rock bottom. Like I'm sure we've already talked about one massive rock bottom or one massive trigger. Being assaulted at the age of 18. Like, was there any other real lows, man? Any other rock bottoms for
Yeah,
you?
I had a very big low when I overdosed on MDMA. I had taken too much, and I just remember I was out. We went from his house, and then we went out clubbing. And I remember I didn't even make it out clubbing. I was in the car, and I said, "I'm gonna vomit. I'm gonna be sick." And they opened the door, and I got out, and I was in the gutter, and I couldn't vomit. I don't know what it was. There was something inside of me that I just felt like I had to vomit, but I couldn't vomit. I just kept on going like, and I was making like a wheezing sound. And I remember I thought, fuck, I'm gonna die in this gutter. And then my friends, they left me there because they had drugs on them and they didn't want to get caught by the police and get caught with possession. So they didn't call the ambulance or nothing, and I was left to die in the gutter with no one around me.
You
And
remember that
God
moment?
bless, someone up there must have been looking out for me because I didn't die that night in the gutter. And I
Oh, shit.
stumbled. I remember getting up, fucked. I was so fucked up. I remember getting up, stumbling to the club, looking around. Everything was, I didn't even know where I was, what was happening. And I just remember walking, and I just ended up at the club that they were at. And, at that time, I didn't even think it was a dog thing for them to do. I just thought, fuck, nah, you boys, like, it's all good. You didn't want to get caught by the cops. I get it. But looking back at it, like, what the fuck is that? They're going to let their own friend die because they were too worried about getting caught themselves.
And, and on that note, too, like it's all you have to do is call the fucking triple O, man. Anyone out
Exactly
there,
right.
like brother, I've had a client who stayed with someone while they died because they were too afraid to. Well, just more actually for on his occasion, just uneducated, didn't know. Like
Yeah,
compressions, CPR, just compressions will keep somebody alive, and just call triple O.
exactly
Anyone
right.
out and then to live with something like that.
Yeah,
Jarrod, I see some anger in you when you're saying that, and I love that
yeah,
because that's passion for your
yeah,
recovery and also for your life today too. At the time,
yeah,
you thought, "Ah, go boys," like don't worry
yeah.
about me. It's fucking crazy, eh?
It's but I do see what they're going through as well, because there was
Yeah,
another time that one of my close friends, she overdosed, and I had to call the ambulance for her.
yeah,
But I actually called the ambulance, and we were out at a boat ramp in Dapto, and
yeah.
that's where I used to go down to the boat ramp. I'd park the car in this little slot and would go down to the boat ramp near the water and would just get fucked up. And yeah, I took some, and I said, this stuff's very fucking strong. I said, I think this has ice or something in it extra because this is very strong. I was walking around like an idiot, pacing, go, you know what I mean? And I said to her, I said, don't take heaps of it. And I didn't know, but she was depressed and suicidal, and she took a whole rock. And I came back to the car, and she was just sweating. She was screaming, freaking out, just like, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I didn't see her take that much. And then I just called the ambulance. And when the ambulance came, because there was an overdose in the park at 3 o'clock in the morning, the ambulance got the police to come. And I had 2 grams of MDMA stashed in my pocket. And I know what it feels like to see 4 police cars come down That driveway, when I know I've got 2 grams of MDMA stashed in my pocket, and I remember I was pacing. I put it in the car, stashed it in the car, and I thought, fuck, what if they search the car? Ran from the car, put it in my pocket, and I just kept on doing it. I'm like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? But then they told me, like, I don't care what you have. It's your friend that we're worried about. And the police left straight away. They weren't even there for anything, you know? As soon as
So
they knew it was safe, they left.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that because that kind of is like I don't know what the law is around that, but to call
Yeah.
someone for an overdose, man, the police might be invited for specific reasons, but they're not there to pinch people,
Just for
man. They're there
safety. For
to fight,
safety for the paramedics.
Yeah, that's right, man. Exactly,
Yeah.
Jared. Mate, all right, shit. Well,
Yeah.
one more thing. Like when you were in that gutter, were you literally in the gutter? Like when
I was
you,
literally in the gutter, so I'd pretty much rolled out of the car into the
yeah.
gutter, and I was in the gutter on the road.
Yeah, and and you talk about like that feeling like I'm gonna die, and when I hear you saying that, I know this like that's they talk about G, that's another
Yeah.
drug. Did you ever get into that? Is that the same thing? G?
Nah, liquid G is like a completely. Oh, I don't know if it's different or not, but I think that's different. I don't know. I've never heard of liquid G until recently.
You wouldn't believe it. It wasn't even around when I was using, bro. I've been clean for almost 14 years this Friday,
Yeah,
actually. So
right.
I
Yeah.
don't believe it's G.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but I've heard of people being like the way you described that. I've heard of
Yeah.
that being very similar to a G overdose. But regardless, like this happens all the time, you know.
Yeah.
And you're
Well,
there
yeah.
in the
That's true, because just recently, like a few months ago, I went out clubbing with Joey at a shisha bar, and then all of a sudden I was face down in my vomit in the gutter, and I died. Like my heart stopped, everything. And the paramedics said that they thought I was spiked with liquid G.
oh.
So
So
that's when I heard it for the
what
first time.
happened? What happened that night? So you're having a couple of drinks?
I was having a couple of drinks with Joey,
Yeah.
and then I came outside, and then I started vomiting, and I just started vomiting and vomiting, and then I blacked out. Like I just fainted, or like, passed out in my vomit, face down in my vomit. Joey came out and saw me, started screaming for everyone to help, and they were checking my pulse and everything. I had no pulse. I was dead.
Holy I heard about this.
Yeah,
Jared, yeah, Joey,
and
shout
Joey
out
had to like, he
Joey.
was punching me in the face and everything, like,
Love you,
and I
Joey.
just didn't wake up.
And someone called the paramedics,
Yeah,
obviously.
they called the ambulance, and even the ambulance, like, they were trying to get a response, and they were doing the sternum rub, like trying to get a response out of me,
Yep.
and I just wasn't responding to anything. And then out of the blue, randomly, they put me on the bed, and apparently they just like chucked me on the bed, went to put me in the back of the ambulance, and on the bed, my eyes opened, and I just started bawling my eyes out, like just started crying and crying and crying. I don't know what I was crying about, but I just started bawling my eyes out, because I looked around where I was, and I don't know if it's just because I saw everyone, like the fear on their face, like they looked like they just saw a ghost, like they were so scared. I just started bawling my eyes out, and then I went in the back of the ambulance, and then I passed out again in the ambulance. They worked on me for 20 minutes at the scene before they took me to hospital. And they said I was either spiked with, they said it looked like heroin, what people, when they overdose on heroin, what they look like. But they said they believe it was liquid G. Someone put liquid G in my drink.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a heroin
Yeah.
for someone who's
But the paramedics said, yeah.
sounds like exactly like that liquid
Yeah.
G. God, putrid. Jared, how'd you
Putrid.
like? When did it come to a point when you thought enough's enough, man? The show's called Kick the Shit. Jared,
Yeah.
when did you kick the shit, brother?
I think there was two things. When I saw my friend overdose and they were in intensive care, and just seeing them like that, and having everyone being like, do you really want to end up like this? And being in the gutter a week prior to that incident happening with my friend. So I was in the gutter, and then a week later they were
Yeah.
nearly dying, and I thought, fuck. And then my dad actually called me, and I don't talk to my dad often. We don't talk to each other, you know. But I called him and let him know that I was on drugs and stuff, and he said, you're either going to end up dead or you're going to end up in jail. He goes, there's no easy way about it. And I thought, fuck, yeah, that's true. And then the repercussions from drugs, having to deal with the dealers that I ticked up and them coming for me and having guns to my head and knives to me and all sorts of fucked up shit that I just thought, fuck, what am I doing with my life? Like, yeah, I'm depressed. Yeah, I don't see anything worth living for, but fuck, surely there's something worth living for.
That was the turning point, huh? That was
Yeah.
the turning point. So I
Like,
love that.
honestly, I'm not like the toughest guy in the world, you know? And when I had like proper people coming to my house, trying to run through my house and holding knives to me and saying they're going to kill me if I don't pay them back and not having the money to pay them back and all the dark side to it, that was definitely a turning point for me, 100%.
And I love that you said your dad. Like, so your dad,
Yeah,
how much did your dad have to do with your life? And yet you took his words because
nothing really, nothing.
yeah, well, and your dad said to you, he said to you, Jarrod, if you don't stop, you're going to either end up dead or in jail. Is
Yeah,
that what he said? And
yeah,
you,
because
and you,
my dad was a police officer back in the day, and
oh,
you know, man,
wow.
like I can't hang around that. That's my dad. I love him, you know. But
That's good
yeah,
to hear,
we
man.
never really talked much, you know. And
Yeah,
he had seen what happens to people through
yeah,
being in the police force.
of
That's what he
course.
said to me. He goes, "You're either gonna up in a jail cell or dead." And he goes,
Yeah.
"And trust me, I've seen inside jails." He goes, "And Jarrod, you're not gonna fucking last in there, mate." He goes, "So you know what I mean?" And he
Oh,
really
that's
gave me. It
good.
was a very stern talking to, like you're gonna end up in jail or you're gonna end up dead. And if you go to jail, you're probably fucking dead too. So he goes, you know, there's no other road out of it.
Jarrod, all right, so now today you're in recovery, right? Now
Yeah,
recovery looks different for all sorts of people. I know, like you've mentioned already, you still have a drink. You feel like you can have a social drink.
yeah,
So tell me, like let's talk about like well, actually, how long? So how long you been in recovery for? How long would you identify? And I know part of your stuff. You're a streamer. You get a lot
yeah.
of people in your life. In fact, we've got like 130 watching because of you on my
Oh,
live right
true,
now.
true. Yeah. Hello
Listen,
to everyone. Hello.
there's a lot of people watching, and we've got like 30 watching live here. Jarrod, first of all, what am I saying here? What would you say to anyone on a journey, um, stuck in addiction,
Yeah.
and wanting to turn their lives around? Like after just hearing some of those horrific, scary experiences, yeah, what would you say to those people?
Well, I would say to definitely to go and get the help that's out there. And I know that's very blase to say, go get help. But
Yeah,
I think the first bit to getting help is what happened and what helped me is telling someone that you trust what you're going through, what you're actually
friends
going
with your
through.
friend. Yeah, yeah,
I
friends.
so through drugs and everything, I had a support worker through Centrelink, so I was on job seeker payments,
Yeah, wow.
and I opened up to them about my drug
Yeah,
addiction,
yeah,
and they're the ones that called the nurses and got me on a plan and got me to see drug and alcohol counselling down in Wollongong and all of that, and actually helped me with getting a psychologist and all of that. So yeah, definitely open up to someone, even if it's your Centrelink support worker, whoever it might be. Just open up to someone that could go get you the help. Because I remember my mum she used to cry and beg me to go to a rehab center, and I just wouldn't do it. I said, "No, I'm not that fucked up, mum. It's fine." They're for like heavy drug addicts. I always thought that's for
you're not
crazy
gonna
drug
play the
addicts
gunner.
rehab.
Yeah, in the gutter,
But she
fucking
wanted me
can't
to, yeah,
breathe.
go to rehab, and I said no, 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 no. But I'll tell everyone out there right now: if anyone in your family tells you to go to a rehab center or go get help, go get the help and listen to your family, because your family are the ones that have to go through that pain and cry their eyes out, wondering where you are and what you're doing. They're the ones that have to suffer.
I often say, Jarrod, I honestly believe like the families are the true victims of addiction.
Yeah,
Like yeah, we are. And thank God some of us don't make out. We have so far. Just for today, we're here talking about it. But the families, we always had hope that we'd get on and get stoned. But what about my mum, my dad? Like, they are the
Exactly
true
right.
victims. They're at home thinking, is he in the gutter? Has he been bashed? Is he with the Is he locked up again? Like, and I've experienced it as a loved one now of family members, and it's the most powerless, surrendering, heart wrenching. You just talked about your mum crying. Like, can you feel that for her now? Like,
Yeah.
it took me years actually before I really understood.
That's what I was just about to say. At the time, even a couple months after it didn't. It's not until now I think that I'm starting to mature in life that I've actually felt a big guilt about how I treated my family and treated my mum and put them through all this shit. And it's actually a big guilt that I live with right now. That's what I put them through, like knowing that my mum was crying,
How proud would mum
when I
be
was in
of
the
you?
holding cells as well, she didn't sleep for the whole time I was in there.
Of course, it's horrific for a loved
Yeah.
one. Like, I just think about, like, imagine if my son, and I've got a beautiful 6-year-old daughter too, like, and even her mum's been through some shit like this. It's the most. I can't, like, I've been through some of that horrific stuff for a
Yeah.
loved one, and it hurts so much, bro. There's nothing,
Yeah.
especially being someone like us or me in recovery. I can't nothing to deal with it, and I don't even want to deal with it. I just want to feel. I want to fix it, but you can't fix it.
Yeah.
It's just sad, fucked up.
Yeah.
All right. Look, we'll get back at the end of the show. I want to ask you a couple more questions around that.
Yep.
Jarrod, tell us about, like, what's life like now, bro? I'm like, you spin me out. Like, I can't. Why are you so loved, bro? I don't know. I know that's a weird question to ask you, but I want to ask you, like, why do you feel like? Why are you so loved? Why do people connect with you? Yeah, what do you reckon? What's your formula for that, man?
I honestly think it's just because I don't care what I say online. I'm so raw. I'm so I tell people if I feel bad, I'll tell people I feel upset today. If I feel
Good,
happy, I'll tell you I feel happy today. If I feel pissed off, I'm gonna yell at someone online. I don't care about any of it. I'll just be myself and my true self. And I feel like that's what people connect with. Someone that's their true self, that's been through a hard road, that's been through stuff, that's come out the other side, that's doing fairly well on social media. I don't want to talk myself up, but I feel like I'm doing fairly well. And
good.
I
I
feel
think
like
that.
that's something that people can relate to. And if they maybe want to get big on social media or they have a dream or a goal, I feel like because I've achieved goals in my life, they feel like they can achieve goals in their life. And that's what I try and promote to my audience as well. That doesn't matter what your goal is. Even if you want to be a bloody astronaut, you can be whatever you want in your life. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah,
Whatever goal you have in your life, and that's
yeah,
one of the biggest things in recovery for me. Set yourself goals, no matter what the goal is. This is what I
yeah.
tell everyone when my friends call me up about mental health or anything. I say the number one thing is set goals, and they go, "Oh, that sounds stupid," but nah, set a goal. No matter if it's just wake up in the morning and make your bed. That's a goal in itself, and it's a small goal, but it's a goal that makes you feel complete.
And dream big, Jarrod. Like,
Yeah, dream big.
look
Dream
yeah.
big.
The sky is the limit, guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
There's
look,
so much in life right now that I just love, and I never thought I'd be here ever. I never thought I'd be where I am right now on this podcast, but let alone the stuff
yeah,
that I'm doing now. Yeah. Now you can do
yeah,
anything in life, 100%, no matter
yeah.
what you're going through, no matter what your family life is like, no matter where you're from. Yeah, you can do anything.
Jarrod, tell me a bit about like some of the amazing things that like here. One thing I know, like, I often jump on your TikTok and see, and you've got
Yeah.
like some of the numbers I've seen, like, say 500 people in there
Yeah.
watching. I've seen you connect with some of the biggest streamers and people out there. Tell me, and what I know and what I know, because of that, all these magic things happen in the background. People don't know
Yeah.
all the crazy things that are happening. I know it because I'm pretty blessed to even be in my position. Opportunities come up that you would never expect it.
Well, yeah, I just
Tell
went
us.
to the TikTok event on Wednesday.
There you go. What
Yeah.
TikTok event? I don't even know about it. What TikTok event?
So there was a TikTok event. There was one in Sydney and there was one in Brisbane. I went to
Yeah,
both of them. I went to the one in Sydney at their HQ in Sydney, and I went to
yeah.
the one in Brisbane. And
Wow.
it's just a group of people that you know, are fairly known on the app that have a
Yep.
following, and they get invited. You have to be invited by TikTok. You know, it's
Yeah.
exclusive, but yeah, you get invited, and yeah, you go and hang out with all the creators, and you know, they supply the food, supply the drinks, and you just have a fun night. There's special guests there that talk. They do question and answers. They do like live tutorials with new exciting things that are coming to live. You know, new things
No.
coming out. You talk to your
True. True.
managers, talk to the workers.
Well, Jarrod, you guess what, mate? You might be proud of me. I actually won the ultimate match off last night. The
Did ya?
third round. Yeah, I won it, brother.
Congratulations,
The
Denny.
finals haven't come in. There was 3 winners that made it through to the final round, but I've got a feeling we might have taken it out. We might have won the competition. I think it ended up going by points. They haven't announced it yet, but I
Mate, you should be
definitely won
forever
my.
proud of that.
Yeah, oh, bro, it's crazy.
Because
Like,
I was in the
and
match off and I didn't even win my first match. So
well, there you go. Well, yeah,
yeah,
mate. The sober squad. We are the sober squad. We've got an
yeah,
amazing, incredible community out there.
yeah,
And the thing is, Jarrod, and I just want to mention for anyone out there who does support me and Jarrod, like with myself,
yeah,
I talk sobriety often, and sobriety isn't always like people who don't like to front. Like a lot of people, like it's a confronting topic, you know. Like, and
yeah,
I embrace. And you've been so brave today to share your truth, you know. And part of what you
yeah,
do too is not just a recovery. You're able to sort of just document your life. I've got to say,
yeah,
you're pretty young. You represent the youth. You've been through shit. You're now killing it. So it's a perfect little package, you know. And maybe
yeah.
you're a good looking fella. I don't know, Gareth. I can't say that.
I just want
Whatever
to
it
say
is.
as well, Denny. I just want to say as well that I have to thank you as well because when you know, months and months ago when I was going through recovery, when I was just getting
Yeah,
off the drugs and stuff, I actually used to go into your lives. I don't know if you remember, but I think you saw messages from the past, and I was actually in your lives, and I used to talk to you, and you used to tell me pick a color and you know what I mean, pick a color,
holy
and
shit, yeah.
what else did you say? I think it was pick a color and something else.
Your number and
Yeah, a
color.
number. Pick a color and pick a number. Yeah, my color
Wow.
was blue.
Holy fucking shit. Jarrod, were you called it your boy Jarrod back then?
I could have been under another name, possibly like
Oh, man,
Jarrod MC.
when we connected for this podcast, I've seen on Instagram we've had a chat. Like, and by the way, I respond to every single message, guys.
Yeah,
Like, and there's hundreds of messages. I'm sure you. That's so cool. That's so.
yeah.
I didn't
So
know
I
that,
actually
Jarrod.
used to
Thank
watch
you.
Danny Shannon when I was going through recovery because of
Oh,
his
bro.
backstory, and you know, I couldn't relate to it as such, like because you know, you've been through a lot, but I did
Yeah.
relate to it in a way of what I've been through, and yeah,
Holy
it was good.
shit,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that. I did not know that, Jarrod.
yeah.
Wow. Man, shit. Anything else you wanna share? Like, yeah. Have I missed anything? I'm gonna ask you 2 questions just so you know. I wanna ask you some words of wisdom that you wanna
Yep,
let people know, and finally where people can connect with you. Let's do that right now. First
yep.
of all, if anyone out there listening is new and hasn't met, it's your boy Jarrod. Where would people find you and connect with you and follow
So
you and all that
TikTok
stuff?
is where I go live mostly. So my TikTok is it's your boy Jarrod, obviously. And my Instagram is it's your boy Jarrod as well. So Instagram and TikTok both it's your boy Jarrod, and I'm starting to use Facebook again. So I just made a Facebook, and yeah, it's your boy Jarrod is my Facebook as well. So it's your boy Jarrod
It's your
everywhere. If
boy
you see it's your
Jarrod.
boy Jarrod, it's me. It's your boy Jarrod.
And guys, we'll take some questions shortly as
Yeah,
well. If you want to stick around and start asking you questions, I know there's been a lot of people come through. There's probably been 100 questions already, guys. But more importantly, Jarrod, is there any words of wisdom? Like think about your journey, think about where you've been and where you are today. What would you say to the young people or anyone out there listening? Yeah, drop us your words of wisdom, brother.
well, I think it's what I was saying before that. This is what people don't realize. They feel like if they grow up in housing commission or they grow up rough, that they can't come out the other side and be the best of that they can. But dream big and never give up on your dreams and goals. That's all I can say to the people. Never ever ever give up on yourself because I nearly gave up on myself, and You know, there was a time where I was that little kid that was so suicidal, sitting on the edge of a cliff, thinking, should I jump or not? And it's just not worth it, guys. It's really not. Life is what you make of it, but it's also beautiful. And yeah, just dream big and live life to the fullest. Don't have any regrets in life.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
Don't sit
Man,
back and go, fuck, why did I do that? Why do I regret that? Do it and own it. I think that's the biggest thing as well. Own what you do in life.
absolutely love it. And be true to yourself, eh? Like
Yeah.
one thing you mentioned, Jarrod, about one of the reasons you think you're doing okay, you said you wear your heart on your sleeve. You tell people how you're
Yeah.
feeling, whether you're happy or you're sad. You
Yeah.
also let yeah,
I let my
your
emotions out, everything.
emotions out. You share. If someone has a dig, you have a crack back too. So
Yeah.
you've got all the stuff happening, and I think
Yeah.
that truly is being authentic. Guys,
Yeah.
look, we're coming. We'll take some questions now, Jarrod. What I can do
Yeah.
is I can put them up on screen. But before I do that, I just want to
Beautiful.
give one more big shout out to Koahani for sponsoring this podcast.
100%.
Koahani, absolute legend. Koahani supply NDIS support and coordination, helping individuals help themselves. Much love to you guys, Koahani. And
Beautiful.
guys, yeah, please feel free, drop your comments now. I'm going to see
Yeah.
this. I always get a bit off track. I need a moderator to do this. But we've got Aaron saying good morning. Good morning, Aaron. I'm going to see who.
Morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Aaron. All right, still 18, very young. Yeah, 18, still very young. Absolutely, Karina. She's obviously talking about when you picked up and got on it.
Yeah.
First time watcher. Much love, Luke. Thank you very much. Karina mentioned that you became an easy target. That's true. It's felt like that at the time. Kevin saying, have you considered CBT? Have you done any counselling work? Jarrod?
Well, after I got off the drugs, I was so mentally not there. Like I was just drained, and I went to psych wards and stuff like that because I'd just lose the plot and go crazy and psycho. And the doctor thought I had a borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
So they were actually going to get me on that. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure like cognitive behavioral therapy, it's like for that, isn't it? Like that's
Well,
what
yeah, CBT is pretty broad, but I mean,
they
really,
use it for borderline personality disorder as well. Is that the same
yeah,
thing?
absolutely, man.
Yeah,
It's a
beautiful.
common
Yeah, so I am talking about the right thing.
Yeah, you are, bro.
Yeah,
Look,
beautiful.
CBTs,
Yeah.
it's kind of like around
So
consequential things.
I've thought about it. Yes.
Yeah, cool. Jess, we love you, Jarrod. Everyone
I
want
love
to
it,
drop
Jess.
comments or try and highlight like you were able to quit in the end, Karina.
Yes.
Just what happened to you. I'm proud. He's your friend, Jess. Again, I'm proud of you. How far you've come, Jarrod.
Thanks,
You
Jess.
obviously know Jess, do you?
No, I
Thank
don't
you.
know, Jess. I've just
No, you
every
don't.
time
No,
someone says
cool.
they're proud of
Yes,
me, it
mate.
makes me feel very humbled.
Good question. Do you have supports? Do you have support peers, Jarrod? Great question, Kevin.
Like I don't know what you mean by like what support in my life. Like yeah, I got friends that support me,
Yeah,
and family.
people on the
But
same journey as you, Jarrod. Like, are they? Like, it's always good to have some.
I didn't know. I'll actually say during the time I had no support. I was on my own, and that's why the Centrelink support worker was my support at the time. She
I
was the
love that,
support.
bro. You know what? I want to say, and I don't know what. I know some of my audience are against the coppers, but I love how there's a couple of things here that always come up for me. Like I love, and I want to get anyone out there ever in trouble. You find yourself in victim, mate. You fucking report it to the coppers. You know this
100%.
bullshit about
Yes.
fucking dogs and all that shit. Like, man, we need to stop this shit from happening. So
Yeah.
I love that, and also like Centrelink gets a shout out as well. The support workers, because individuals out there who are support workers, they love what they do, and that's the they want to be out there helping people. Okay, let me go right to the end first in case there's any newcomer.
Right.
It's just Jess on TikTok. Snap around, Jarrod. Haha. Keep up the awesome work.
Hey, that's the way. Yes,
Keep climbing those mountains. Keep climbing those mountains. Success will feel good, so good. Thank you, Karina.
Yeah.
But Jarrod, we love you, mate. so many comments, bro. You'll be able to go back through the Facebook feed,
Yeah.
And take a
I'll
look.
have a look as well. I'll have a look.
Oh, this
Big
is a
love
good
to everyone
question.
out there.
Do you believe TikTok has helped you stay away from drugs as well as keep your mind? I love this question, Brittany. Yes. Do you reckon your notoriety today has helped you stay on track, Jarrod?
Oh yeah, of course. Like if
Has a
I get on and talk to you guys, and it's building blocks 100%, and it gives me something to do during the day, and also I think it gives me something that's worth living for. That's the main thing.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I live for all you guys, all of the people that watch me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I live for myself. I live for my family now. And I love life now. TikTok
Um
definitely did help.
what Jess also said, do you believe also helped to keep your mind away from the drugs?
Yeah.
Hey, Jarrod, it does, eh? But you know what, guys? Being accountable and live, and in
Yeah.
front of the people that's not like Jarrod's doing it. I'm doing like that's not gonna nothing else. Nothing is more important to me, back then than getting off my face. Like it was the
Yeah.
only thing. I had no other choices. Like at the end
Oh,
of the day,
like trust me, if
yeah.
I was on drugs and I started doing TikTok, my TikTok lives would have been so much more messed up. Like it probably wouldn't have helped me get off the drugs at the time. No, but now that I'm in recovery and I've settled down, now it's definitely helping me stay off them. Yeah.
All right, Jarrod. Legend. Everyone over here on TikTok too, thank you for supporting. Jarrod, I'm gonna end the live. Stay on there, but all right.
Yep.
Guys, everyone, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Big love,
On to
everyone.
Jarrod.